Hi, so in this video, I thought I'd highlight the yin and yang of sprinting. So the positive really kind of hit me this weekend. I did my first indoor 60 meter. I got silver medal overall for the veterans. My group is M40. I also won county champion because the guy that did win gold in the individual wasn't club based from the Norfolk area, which mine is. But then I got home and I checked the Power of 10 website where all athletes, their events, their times across their career are conveniently placed. And I was ranked 13th in Great Britain, number one being Dwayne Chambers, who's now 40. And I'm probably not going to catch him at about 6.7 seconds. Anyway, the frustration part is I have to admit here and be honest, that this isn't life-threatening or anything like that. It's just being brutally honest with an element of continued uncertainty with my times. I've been training for around 6 or 7 months now. I've competed, I've got times. They are all hand-timed, which if you look at the research, actually says you need to add about a quarter of a second, 0.24, 0.25, to allow for any human error, reaction times, etc. That would then give you what you could possibly get on an electronic, where you break the beam, there's a laser timer, it's instant. We're using technology rather than kind of, thumbs and eyes. Now, what that means is my 12.6 for my 100 meters that I got in July last year, from now 6 months ago. That 100 meters could have been 12.9 to even 13 seconds if we consider margins of error. If it was 12.6 or maybe even quicker, and my 6 months of training since, which by default, hand on heart, I can tell you I'm faster. I have a better out of the blocks, I have better acceleration. I've actually improved my top speed. Now, obviously, data to a degree, even if it's wrong, a consistency on decrease or increase is valuable feedback. And what I mean by that is this lovely Fitbit Ionic that I've got. And trust me, I've looked at apps, I've looked at watches. The only real way to get an official time is to buy lasers or light gates, and they're not cheap, considering you probably only want to use them every 2 or 3 months to see the impact that your training has had on your overall times. So I got the Fitbit, and it does heart rate and everything else, so you can look at recovery and readiness for a session. But I was quite cunning, and I thought there has to be a way of me at least getting some visibility on an important factor. So if you consider the normal curve of a race, you've got 3 components. You've got how quickly you get to, number 1, your top speed, number 2, and then how long you stay there or decrease, shall we say, which is why you see people slow down towards the finish line, number 3. So that speed curve, it's how quickly you get to your top speed and then how long you remain there. By putting this watch into bike mode, GPS will tell you your top speed cycling. Now, running, I clocked 22.6 miles an hour. Now, I admit that may be way off. It could be off by 1, 2 or 3 miles an hour, which is a significant difference, and I'm sure you now understand that all of my stuff is a best guess. My top speed could be off, my hand time races could be off, my perception of improvement may not exist. However, when my top speed was 20, and then 21, and then 21.6, then 22, then 22.6, it shows you that even if there's error, there's improvement. And the icing on the cake with this is my closest official sprints meet track that runs competitions is Lee Valley. Very famous, world-class venue. I contacted them because on their webpage they have sprint meets. You pay £7 and you get an electronic time. I thought, wow, that's perfect. there's no updates yet. So this is January. We're now, what, 30th of January, end of January 2020. So I called them and I said, your sprints meets, there's no data yet. When do you expect the first one? When do they roll from? Oh, they start in May. So I'm thinking, I have to wait 1 year to get an official electronic time. Now, interestingly enough, there's two ways of looking at this. It would be fantastic to run through that light beam and have the score on the board, and whether it's 12.2 or 12.7. And if I'm honest, I estimate that my 100 meters could be now, looking at progress, the fact that I'm lighter, I actually feel faster and more springy. If my 12.6 was spot on, I would like to think I'm about 12.2 by now. However, if the 12.6 was completely out there and I've made minimal progress, I could literally range anywhere from 12 to 13 seconds, which for coaches and athletes, I'm sure you're aware, that's 18 months of training. Because I'm not at my peak, I don't need to claw the 0.2 of a second that will take a year. I'm after the big adaptations in terms of technique, motor unit recruitment, better mechanics, just doing the drills again and again and again to fine-tune my sprinting performance. That 1 second you can drop off, because I've seen many people do it in 12 months simply because you get better at so many levels. You're not looking for the icing on the cake because you're already a 90% fantastic sprinter. You rock up average and you fine-tune that to be very good. So that's where you can get some real big progress. So me realising that my time could be anywhere from 12 to 13, and that literally is 12 to 18 months of training, I am left with the antidote to this chaos, and I have to laugh. Just keep training, just keep lifting, just keep doing the drills. Now, light gates, the cheapest one is Freelap, which is £600. However, there's a disc where you put your thumb on it, and as you release it starts, and as you break the laser it finishes. So what that actually misses out on is reaction time. Now, you could have had a fantastic race with an awful start. You could have had an average race with a great start. I've estimated my time usually about 0.2, 20 milliseconds. I do not think I'll get into the 10 seconds, which is actually pretty much the human limit for error. Slower than that and it's a red, you cheated, it was a false start. I would like to think I can get down to the 15s. However, at the moment I range anywhere from 17 to 25. Now, you could get a 30 and have a great race and think, wow, I've improved, yet you haven't because you missed the big blunder at the beginning. You could get an average time and you could have had a fantastic start, which you now don't add to it. Therefore, you would do a standard quarter of a second and your reaction time was actually 0.15. So there's a 10th error. We're getting quite technical now, so hopefully this doesn't fly over too many people's heads. But the yin and yang of sprinting and this journey really hit me, because there's been an accumulation of doubt and complete uncertainty of what any of my training has done in terms of performance. And let's be honest, a decrease in time. That's what it's all about. Are the numbers coming down? However, met with the triple win recently of silver medal, county champion, and then realising I'm the 13th fastest 40-year-old in Great Britain in the 60 metres. I'll take that. It's goodbye from me. Guys, keep pushing. The journey's amazing and there's so much to learn about yourself when you're willing to go out there and do it. Take care.